Hi there, welcome to this tutorial on how to make a SolidWorks part. This tutorial is going to go over some key things to learn for new beginners in SolidWorks, or maybe even people who are a bit rusty in SolidWorks if you're not using it for a while. The part that we are going to make in this tutorial is a CSWA example part that is used in helping people prepare for their CSWA exam. CSWA is stands for the SolidWorks Associates Test. So we're going to build this very, very simple part, and without further ado, let's get into it. So when you open up SolidWorks, you should be greeted with this window here. If not, you can go ahead and click the new part right there, and it'll open up a similar window to this. You can see that a lot of my extra pieces that I have done, assemblies that I've made, are right there. We're not going to worry about those. All we're going to do is click on part. So go ahead and just click on that, and it should load up. Just give it a little minute. Our drawing page. Now this page is where we do all of our drawing, all of our extruding, everything that we need to do to make our piece. So the first step that we want to do is change our units. Our units are in IPS, as you can see at the bottom right of your screen, which is inch, pound, second. What we want this to actually be is millimeter, gram, second. So go ahead, click on that, and then click on millimeter, gram, second. Next up, go ahead and go to the left side of your screen, and you're going to see a bunch of these little parts. Part 1, history, sensors, annotations, material, yada yada. All we really are focusing on in this tutorial is the front plane and how we use it to draw our parts. So go ahead and just click on the front plane, and then click that button called Sketch. And as you can see, what happened is SolidWorks, as they call it, they normal two'd us to the front plane. What normal two means is, I'm going to go ahead and leave that showing for now. If we use our middle mouse button and do that, you can see that we kind of moved it, right? We're not back to the front of it. So if you press your space bar, you can see all of this cool, fun stuff that you can learn about in other tutorials. And what we're going to do is click on Normal 2. As you see there, it gives you a nice little description, and it brings us back to our plane. I'm going to go ahead and hide the plane, which you can do by right-clicking and just clicking on that eyeball. Now, this piece is pretty simple. It just comprises of some rectangles and a hole in the biggest part of the rectangle. So we're going to go ahead and get started by drawing our first rectangle, which you can do by coming up here and clicking on all of this fun stuff. There's the line, circle, yada yada yada, a lot of stuff. What we want to do is use corner rectangle. So you can click on that, or if you want to be cool, what you can do is hold the right click button on your mouse and then scroll down. As you see there's 4 things. We have rectangle at the bottom, the circle on the right, line on the left, and on the top is our dimension tool. I will be using the shortcut on the mouse for just time's sake purposes, but if you wanted to just go up top and click it, you can do that as well. So we're going to go ahead and draw a rectangle. Now always draw it in the origin. Origin is where you want it to be. It helps keep your part centered and keeps it good. So I recommend doing that. And then you can press escape, or you can just click on the button again to get rid of the tool. Now as you see here, we have some blue lines and some black lines. We want our parts to be all black lines because with the blue lines, it can move. We don't want it to move. That's not what we want, especially if you start getting into more complex problems. It moving is not good to have. So what we're going to do is go ahead and use our dimension tool. And using dimension tool, you can click on this line, click off, and then you can see there we can type in our dimension, which is 60 millimeters. And then click on this one and click off again, and this dimension is 30 millimeters. Now we have a fully blacked rectangle. It will not move whatsoever. As you see, it is not moving. Next up, we want to draw a circle in the rectangle. So we can go ahead, use our circle tool, and just draw a circle there. It doesn't have to be perfect right away. You're going to make it perfect with your dimensioning, so don't bother with that. Okay? Don't try and be a stickler for that. You'll just be wasting your time. So go ahead and click on the circle, and we're going to make the diameter of this circle 12 millimeters. Next up, as you see, it is still blue, right? That means it can move freely in the rectangle or even out. We don't want that. So what we're going to do is click the middle of the circle and click this line out here. Go ahead and scroll down and make this dimension 16 millimeters. Now, it can only move up and down, but it can't move left or right, which is what we want. Then go ahead and do the same thing, but with this line, and we're going to make it 16 millimeters. And now it is black, it cannot move, and we are done with our first step of this tutorial. So now what we want to do next is go ahead and go to the top left and click on Features and click this button called Extruded Boss Base. And you see there's a lot of stuff on here. However, we are not going to go over that. That's a lot more stuff that you can go over in future videos or other people online. So go ahead and just click Extruded Boss Base. As you see here, it gives us a little preview of what we might get. We're going to go ahead and leave, I'm going to leave some details out of how Extruded Boss Base works. However, with the direction, what you can see here is if you wanted to reverse it, it'll extrude to the right and not to the left. You can also change how you extrude it. We're just going to leave it on blind. Blind is just from the drawing outwards. And we're going to extrude this piece by double clicking here, 28 millimeters. And then when you're done, you can either press enter or you can click that green check mark. And now we have our little block with a hole in it. Very cool. Now what we're going to do next is draw another rectangle. However, it's going to be on a different plane. So how we do this is by coming up to the top and clicking Reference Geometry. Go ahead and click that and click Plane. Next, what we want to do is you can just click on that plane right there, which is just the front of the piece. And as you see, it's coming out to the left, out in front of it. We actually want it to go behind it. So to do this, what we do is we click this button called Flip Offset. And now it's inside. And we want to offset this piece 8 millimeters. So go ahead and do that. And that's it. And then we click OK. As you see here, we have a new plane called Plane 1 that is cut in the middle while our front plane is all the way in the back. So go ahead and click Normal 2 there. There we go. And now what we want to do is right click on this plane and click Sketch. I'm going to leave the plane hidden now, but I recommend having it on while you're trying to get your sketch going. Let's go ahead and hide that. Next, what we want to do is draw just another rectangle. We're going to go ahead and just draw one there. And then we're going to draw another one there. And then we're going to draw a third one right here. So now we have 3 rectangles. We're kind of making a little staircase. Now, again, all you just want to do is dimension it. So if we click from this piece to this piece, we have 12 millimeters. We want to get the height of this. The height of this is actually from here to here, or you could have just clicked the line, is 20 millimeters. So now we have the height. And now the total height of this piece is 75, which we can do by clicking on the top of this rectangle and the top of and the bottom of the piece that we did earlier, coming out and just typing in 75. And now we have the height of this piece. Alrighty, next up, let's go ahead and get the width of this rectangle, which is just 12 millimeters. Let's go ahead and get the width of this rectangle, which is 20 millimeters. And now this rectangle is completely blacked out, same as this one. This rectangle still needs its, I think it needs its height. So let's go ahead and just find the height of this piece. The height of this piece is going to be 20 minus 12. So what you can do is type in the equation 20 minus 12, and then it gives you 8. And now we have our staircase. It's fully blacked out, and we're happy. So go ahead and back to features. Go ahead and click Boss Extrude Base. And now, as you see, it's not showing us the preview like it did earlier. What you have to do is actually click on each piece separately. And as you see, it looks a little funky, right? Because it's coming out where we don't want it. And this is where this button, the reverse button, comes into play. So go ahead and click that. Now it's reversed outwards. And then this piece is extruded 20 millimeters. As you see, it's right there. Or what you can do is you can do up to surface. And then what you do is you click the surface, and then it goes in line with that surface, which is also just 20 millimeters. Go ahead, press the green check mark, or press enter, and that is the piece. It's very simple, it's very easy, however, it is very nice for people who are newer or need to dust off some of their old skills. So, if I happen to go a little bit fast in this video, please feel free to go back. You can even slow down the video in YouTube, that type of way. And yeah, that's our piece. I will also link in the description or in the submission of this video the picture that I found on the SolidWorks website. That was the drawing that I was looking at while making this piece. When you make designs, you will usually be looking at drawings that people have done before. So this is what we did here. So there you go. There is the tutorial for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys learned something new today. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.